Hey y'all, leave a message. Let me know if you are out there and can see what's up. Can you see me? Say hello. Looks like I'm online. Hey Tony, Chrissy, NR, Garrett. I'm a little late today. I had a phone call to wrap up. Hey Shayna, I was told to care. Nicole, Melanie. Love to see people checking in across. Hey, Luthaza, Chandra, Chris, Kenny. Hey, Mon, Dana, Daniel. All right, y'all. Listen, I didn't come overly prepared with anything to talk about. I really want to talk to y'all. What's going on with y'all? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Hey, Kev, Jason. Um, we know. I know that there's been a lot of talk today about Lee Merritt, Sean King, the Trump photo op, his executive order. Hey, Robin, what do you guys think about that? I couldn't quite get a sense from like what I saw because I'm blocked by Sean King. Okay, so I don't know. I couldn't. I wasn't pressed enough to go on his Twitter and try to see what the hell's going on. But were Sean King and Lee Merritt beefing with each other? Were they trying to undercut each other? Y'all explain that to me if anybody knows what that's about. Hey Ray, Keith. Let's see, Tim, Nick, Melanie said I care and doubt. Okay, DC statehood. That's a thing that's coming up. That's going to come up for a vote in the House to finally give DC statehood. That's been something that I know Black people have been asking for a very, very, very long time. Okay, a lot of people who are also blocked by Sean King. He was one of the number one disinformation, misinformation people against Kamala Harris. And so it doesn't surprise me that I'm blocked by Sean King because he doesn't want me to drag the fuck out of him. Edward, my brother is on. I always get so excited when my family joins because I feel like so few of them follow me on Twitter because they're not on Twitter, so it's always super exciting and extra special to me like when my family checks it out because then I feel like okay, they're interested in what I'm doing. Hey Matt, Pam, um, E Briggs. So, okay. All right. Let's talk about the photo op. So, full disclosure, I didn't really watch it. I saw a lot of the coverage of it. People saying that it was basically a Trump rally, and his executive order was really like just bullshit, basically, where he talked about it's kind of like recommending like being against chokeholds, but it has so many loopholes in it that it was like, okay, well, it's not really a chokehold ban if you have all these like loopholes in it. So, tell me what do y'all think about the Trump photo op? I am noticing that Republicans are trying. I'm not giving them credit. I'm definitely not giving them credit. But I'm noticing that their language, in particular the elected people, are trying to make it seem like they're interested in it. I don't buy it. I don't believe it. But they are trying to make it seem like they're into it. Sandra says, I feel like we're living in the freaking Twilight Zone these days. I know, right? Um, let's see. Hi, Chocolatees. Okay, so Alberkey says, I do not believe they would put their clients or those families in that position of power, a position of being used as props for Trump. Trump's proposal regarding chokeholds was a joke. Um, my brother says I'm one of your biggest fans. Thanks, brother. Um, let's see. Okay, so here's the thing. I know that when April Ryan, I think she's one of the first people to report that Lee Merritt was going to be at this unveiling of this executive order by Trump, and like Ahmaud Arbery's family was going to be there, and some other families were going to be there, and everybody's immediate reaction was like, "Oh hell no! What the fuck is this, that, and the other?" And I had some thoughts, but I was like, let me see what it comes out of it because there's a way of meeting and there's a way of advocating without being used as props. And I don't know if they had footage of the meeting with the family. It didn't come across my way, so I don't know if there was any cameras in there when they met with Trump. But I don't begrudge them for meeting with him if they felt like this would be something that would be helpful. I'm glad that from what I saw, they did not participate in a photo op with him, because then that sends a whole different message. What do y'all think though? Got something in mind. Do you think that they should have not met with Trump at all? Like, period. Doesn't matter. Don't even meet with him, whether it's going to be photographed or not. Like, just don't even go to the White House. This man is disrespectful. He's racist. He's a liar. He can't be trusted. Or do you feel like, well, if you want to get something accomplished, why not, plead your case to a person who has the power? Let me know your thoughts. Let me see. I'm going to read some of these comments. Pictures will probably be on Trump's campaign ad soon. So you guys have to correct me. Were there photographs? I didn't see photographs of the family with Trump. So you have to let me know if that was the case. Oh yeah, Trump said there's an AIDS vaccine. Hey Christy, that's ridiculous. Shayna says GOP is pretending and it's gaslighting. Ebrick says, do you think the Justice and Policing Act will pass? I'm gonna get to that. I don't buy it either. It's just like gun reform. Yeah. Yeah. Robin, I'm gonna get to that. GOP elected folk language changing a little because they want to stay elected. Yes, yes. Federal response is needed because some states will not do the right thing. Absolutely. Family members should not have attended. I heard Floyd's family did not attend. That's exactly what I heard as well. Executive order, full of BS, slap in the face of the black community. Let's see. Okay. Van Jones is a Trump sympathizer, and somebody needs to say, what did Van Jones say? I saw a lot of people making a comment about Van Jones. What did he say that pissed everybody off? Oh, Dana says Merritt was trashing Dem social media posts. I'm gonna get to Merritt. I'm gonna have a whole little spiel on him. Let's see. Yeah, the executive order doesn't do anything, Vivian. That's from what I've read. He could have met via Zoom, right? Majority of GOP denying systemic racism exists as a problem. So okay, Robin says no, they did not. So they family had no need to meet with Trump. Um, let's see. Not with Trump. It's all about him. It was a closed door meeting. So a closed door meeting kind of adds a little bit more credibility to we're just here to have a conversation. We're not here to be used. So I think that I mean I'm not as against it based on those circumstances, but I'm still reading your comments. Let's see. A bit ago, Merrick compared his White House meeting to Kim Kardashian going to the White House for advocacy. But that was all about the cameras. That was all about the photo ops. Because every time she went to the White House, it was all kind of photos everywhere. They met with Trump and DOJ. I don't have a problem. Okay, Christy says not a problem. Bond says Trump doesn't care. Why bother? Jasmine says, I'm definitely not pleased with the attempted photo ops. I don't think that they should have met with him. Mary says, I can't imagine that meeting with them helped their grief, right? Don't meet. It's legitimizing Trump as if he actually cares, Dana. Waste of time. If Barr wanted time to talk to them, he would have done that. Also, Barr did not attend the Justice and Policing hearing. So how are you serious about policing reform and you don't want to attend the committee hearing on policing reform and they have oversight, judicial oversight over your branch? So that goes to show how Barr is full of shit. Let's see. Only one person so far. Melanie says, I think they should not meet with him at all. He's disingenuous as hell and racist. Let's see. Van Jones was on CNN talking about progress was being made with Trump's trash exec order. Yeah. Somebody check Van Jones' account. What is he getting paid to say all this bullshit? Trump can't be reasoned with. Being seen with him just legitimizes him. Yes. They're my heroes. No, there is not. Okay. I think they are desperate for change and they will exhaust every option to get it. That's what T. Reed says. I tend to believe that that's what it really is about. It's like, you know what? I don't want my loved one's death to be in vain. And so I don't think that there's any ill intent on there. I mean, you might call it, some might call it naivete and some people might call it, well, kind of foolish or whatever. But can you blame people that are grieving for wanting to feel like they're doing something? I don't know. There's better uses of time speaking before Congress gets worldwide attention. I don't know. Let's see. Yes. How can we entertain anything they say or propose when neither had masks on, even our folks? Okay, I didn't see that. Let's see. There's pictures of two family members, but didn't see any with Trump. Right, I didn't see that. Julie says Axios said families were not present for the presser. Okay. Meet with Trump after he signs the Justice and Policing Act. I do not trust Trump. Period. Family members should not either at the White House. It's their decision. Annalise says it's their decision because it's their family member. Unfortunate. And says yes, don't meet with him. He does not understand injustice and will use to a point of disgust. And Miss says they must know that it will always be turned into Trump campaign ad, right? Well, they can't turn it into an ad if he isn't there. Maybe they can turn it into an ad of him talking about meeting with people. Um, Susan says I don't know if it's a family responsibility to make sure any administration politician is sincere. Tough call. Yeah, I'm proud of Floyd's family not attending. So let's see. Let's see. Matt Evans says McConnell said he's killing any bill from the House on police reform. Van Jones falls for the bullshit every single time, right? Civil rights leader didn't want any to attend. Let's see. Nick says if the family wanted the chance to try it and get some concession, that's their right. I don't personally trust the MF, but not my God. Keith says MLK met with LBJ. Sandra says, I understand why they did. I just wish that they didn't because Trump is not sincere about reform at all. They aren't serious. Okay. So I think that is a vast majority feels like they shouldn't have met with it, with a handful of people feeling like they should have met with them. So, yeah. Hey, Ford. Melanie says, I blame Merritt more than the family members. Okay. Hello. Okay, so let's talk about the Justice and Policing hearing. So there have been hearings in the House on justice and policing, but we know that Senator Kamala Harris, along with Senator Cory Booker, have spearheaded the Justice and Policing Act on the Senate. So today, to my knowledge, this is the first hearing on it. It's in the Senate Judiciary Committee, and it was actually pretty reasonable. I watched a couple of hours of it, and I don't give any credit to Republicans ever for anything. But I did appreciate at a minimum that they didn't have any crackpot people to testify there. They seem to have taken it a little bit more serious. I noticed, to Robin's point earlier, Lindsey Graham did sound more reasonable. Not a compliment to him. Not a compliment. It's an observation. Kamala Harris had a really great opening statement. She touched on, to be honest, without using the slogan defund the police, she talked on a lot of the objectives about how to reimagine policing. Thought that was really good. Cory Booker had some really good statements. There were a lot of good statements. Vanita Gupta really was incredibly impressive to me. I really wish I could just see a clip of just her talking about the Justice and Policing Act, because she was just really, 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 so she's so knowledgeable. What was interesting to me though was that Lee Merritt was there. So Lee Merritt, like we were just talking about, he got the Aubrey family to get to the Trump thing, and he wouldn't testify in front of Congress. That makes me a little bit less mad about the situation, because I'm like, well, you met with Trump, you're meeting with Congress. That's kind of what you're supposed to do. You're kind of supposed to advocate as much as possible. But I do find it interesting because Lee Merritt really lied on and hated on Kamala Harris, man. I'm telling you. He said, I wouldn't vote for a Biden Harris ticket. Really? So it's very interesting to me. He had all that energy on Twitter. And yet here we find him in a Senate hearing meeting testifying in support of a bill put forth by Senator Kamala Harris. So what's your problem with it? That's what I be calling people out for, because people be having problems with her and it don't be nothing on substance. It don't be nothing on policy. You basically at Senator Kamala Harris's hearing, because that's her bill. And you done talked all this shit about her on Twitter. You done made her out to be the bad guy. But here you are testifying in support of her bill. Where's Elizabeth Warren's Justice and Policing Act bill? I heard she was coming out with something. I ain't hear too much about it afterwards. But whatever it was, it didn't have 235 co-sponsors in the House and 35 co-sponsors in the Senate. It wasn't the CBC's bill. So that's why I'm just trying to figure out why y'all love to drag Kamala Harris, but then here you are in the Senate hearing and testifying in support of her bill. I hope that he reflected on that, sitting in that chair, about how wrong he was, because that was wrong. That was wrong to smear her and lie on her like that and make her out to be the enemy when she's sitting up there fighting for the same shit that you making a career on, because he made a career off of all the shit that happened to black people. He right there, him and Sean King. And who's the one that's actually fighting to make the changes? Kamala Harris. Come on. Let's see. I'm seeing a lot of comments about how Mitch McConnell's already said that nothing is coming through the Senate on this issue. And I think that's a way for Mitch McConnell to try to just kind of like demoralize people and make people feel like, well, it doesn't matter anyway. Well, the way that we change that is we have to advocate for these things. We have to build momentum for them. That's why people are out in the streets, even though the media doesn't cover that anymore. And so we have to build the pressure on him. He can say, oh, well, nothing's going to happen. Okay, but wait until you look like your ass is about to lose the House of the Senate majority. Wait until Susan Collins about to get her ass voted out. Cory Gardner about to get his ass voted out. Who else? Joni Ernst. She up for re-election. Her ass might go down too. You got Hickenlooper up in Colorado. I'm trying to think who was he going against in Colorado? Oh, that's Gardner, right? You got 2 Senate seats in Georgia. Hello. So, that's where the pressure has to come in. When we don't take stuff as inevitable that it's not going to happen. Do you want to keep your Senate majority lead or not? Then you better fucking do something about it. Pressure, if you feel like, okay, Mitch McConnell can be pressure these Republicans that are on the ballot. Y'all heard Lindsey Graham. He didn't come up there sound like a crack pile. I'm not saying that he gets any kind of plaudits for that, but I'm just saying. Lindsey was kind of, okay, Delonte. See, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people, you have to admit. Dana said Ted Cruz is the only one I saw that was horrible. Okay, I didn't see Ted Cruz's part. Get rid of Graham, yes. King, thank you. King De La Hoya. However you said, I'm sorry. Thank you. Pamela and Corey were excellent today. Give a little credit to the Senate. They didn't invite Gerald Scott. I think that the Senate, generally speaking, is it's called the world's greatest deliberative body. I don't know how true that is under Trump and under Mitch McConnell, but it's not as much of a sideshow as the House turns into with the Republicans. Not with the Democrats. Democrats are sensible, but the Republicans be on some bullshit. Yeah, okay. This is a good point. This is not on the Justice Policing Act, but Joy says if anyone stood up to ask Trump in front of rolling cameras ask about his crimes, why he won't release tax returns and have a completely independent medical and physical health examination, why aren't the media asking him about these things anymore? They just forgot about it. Just Information says, do you think these hearings will win over Kente Police Twitter? No, because people don't care about substance. Now, if somebody had on some Kente, that picture would go viral. Nothing about the substance will go viral though. But what is really striking to me, and I mentioned Vanita Gupta again, if you could just find clips of her, it's really striking how landmark, how trailblazing this legislation is. There has not been federal legislation to address any of these things before. Not in one package or anything like that. So I think people really should understand what is in there. So many people don't understand when you say defund. I don't know if you guys saw there was a little bit of a flap with Congresswoman Karen Bass, because I guess she said that defund the police was one of the dumbest slogans or something to that effect. Well, no, she backtracked off of that. She apologized for that and gave credit to activists and things like that. So I think that's interesting. I think there's going to be a lot more, A lot more of that. Somebody kind of dissing, defund police and having to walk it back or whatever the case may be. Let's see. Casey says she's a black woman that achieved more than them. That's all. Yes. Lots of two-faced stuff going on. Yeah, I think it's about no, Chocolatey says he was a Warren supporter. No, he was a Bernie supporter as far as I know. I'm talking about Lee Merritt. Has Warren supported the Justice and Policing bill? She's a co-sponsor. Has she tweeted about it or came out vocally about it? Not that I know of. I bet you she was in front of black people though. She would be acting like she's all on board with X, Y, and Z. She wouldn't name check Kamala though. I noticed a lot of senators are very gracious about name checking Kamala. Somebody was talking about Chris Coons was on MSNBC and he name checked her a couple of times. But Elizabeth Warren, she's not gonna do that. She's not gonna do that. Now I do think it was interesting that today there was a podcast that came out with her and Democracy in Color. And I feel like, listen, I think it's really bullshit how these people, they allow these people to come on their platform and don't challenge them at all and just kind of read off these bullet points about how they're supporters of diversity or whatever, but they don't have any receipts. Because she's sitting up there talking about how to be an anti-racist and read up on everything that you can and, talk about your white privilege and, all this stuff. Uplift black women and end racial disparities in the workplace. But then, and I had a poll about this, which y'all need to learn how to read, shit. I don't think the poll was confusing. How do you proclaim to be a person that's about ending racial disparities in the workplace, but you boot out your black woman chief of staff for a white man as soon as your campaign is over? You had just put her in there before the campaign, and then you boot her ass right out. That does not add up. That's the thing about it. I don't want to hear what you say. I want to see what you've done. I want to see what your actions are showing me. And yes, the press release says that it was her choice. Come on. What kind of pipeline of careers do you guys think are available for a black woman in government beyond that go much higher than chief of staff to a powerful or at least high profile senator? You think somebody just gonna give that up after a year and some change on the job? To do what? Maybe go get a fat check from private sector, but that's not what happened. I didn't see no announcement. Well, she's going to this, she's going to that. Usually that will come out. You can Google her and find her name and be like, oh, okay, yeah, she's doing X, Y, and Z now. Come on now. Don't be naive. So I don't believe that. And one of the guys who was behind the letter, he said he was interviewed. And he said, "Oh, I would like to see a woman of color. I would like to see he said Stacey Abrams and Ayanna Pressley. But he just thinks that Elizabeth Warren is the most progressive and the right person for the job. So you put together a letter for an all-white ticket for a white woman. Then you're going to turn around and lie and say that you want a woman of color. You would like to see one. Well, anybody would like to see it. Yeah, it's easy to say, oh, I would like to see that, but not this time. But white first. You can't listen to what people say because you literally just sent a letter about picking a white woman to be VP, and now you turn around and say, I would like to see a black woman or a woman of color. You are full of fucking shit. And I told him that to his face. And it's also convenient when people pick two black women that aren't under consideration, according to reports. So it's easy. Oh, I want to see Michelle Obama be VP. Well, Michelle Obama don't want to be fucking VP. They're not vetting Michelle Obama. Who do you want to see be VP out of the motherfuckers that are actually being vetted? Let's see. The media is not even talking about lynchings. I know. It's so crazy, Thabo. I don't know if I said that right. 400 bills on Mitch's desk. Yeah, and going back to the whole lynchings thing, Rand Paul's punk ass is holding up the anti-lynching bill. And it's very interesting that it's passed twice. Senator Kamala Harris, Senator Cory Booker, and Senator Tim Scott have pushed this several times over the past couple of years. It's failed 200 times in the Senate. 2 times their anti-lynching bill passed unanimously. But once it passes in the House and they have to bring it up for a vote again, all of a sudden the energy shifted on anti-lynching, and now punk ass Rand Paul is blocking it. And now we're seeing more, I'm going to say, suspected lynchings. I'm gonna say suspected because I don't like to just jump all the way there without having the evidence. But it's so many coincidences that I can't help but say it's at least a suspected lynchings. Okay, I'm gonna just read through these comments and wrap it up because I don't want to be on here too long. Let's see. Trump will do Trump. Journalists need to do it too. That's what C. Mary says. Um, Keith says Trump won't answer those questions. He'll ignore and berate the reporter. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that you don't ask them. You still have to ask them. Let's see. Chocolatey says time for more chocolate in the Senate vote November 3rd, 2020. So Jamie Harrison is the Senate candidate. Then you have a potential black man, Reverend Warnock, I think is his name, down in Georgia. That's a jungle special election, so there's no like, oh, this is the Dem candidate, this is the Republican candidate. Then you have Mike Espy, who's down in Mississippi. Those are the only ones that I can think of for Senate. Black people. No black woman made the cut for Senate. That's why I support Amanda Edwards in Texas, but she did not make the cut. So now we got what we got. Anyways, let's see. Hey B Dizzle. Oh, let's see. Sandra says John Bolton is being sued by the Trump administration regarding the book. If he had testified against the Orange Medicine back in February, he probably would have found favor with the American public and someone would buy a book. Not me, but somebody. Yeah, fuck John Bolton. How about that? Warren hasn't even denounced the Lawrence tribe. No, she's not gonna denounce anything that benefits her. She's not like she doesn't see it. Just like how she been bird box to black shit the whole fucking time before she ran for president. She's still gonna be black. She's still gonna be bird box. Let's see. King De La Horza says the answer is not to give. Oh, you a democratic socialist? Okay, I remember that. You said the answer is not to give in to capitalism. Okay, well, who's giving up their coins? Cause I'm not. Let me know how that works. Hey Jason, thank you. Says I'm great on Roland Martin. Thank you. Let's see. Liz using Ayanna doing the campaign rally should be enough for all to see how Liz sees black folks. I think her getting rid of her black chief of staff as soon as the campaign is over and replacing him with a white man tells me all I need to know. Because guess what? You could have replaced them with another black woman. There are a lot of black women that are trying to break into that. You know, they have all these diversity initiatives in the Senate. And yet, what comes of it? I guess if you're not running for president anymore, you don't need a black woman. Interesting. How come she didn't move her legislative director from an acting legislative director to permanent? Why is she demote him down to education? Black man. All this happened after the primary. Interesting. Susan says they don't want Kamala because she's actually in contention. They support black women theoretically. That's why I don't fall for this black woman, not that black woman shit. The people I really can't stand the most is I would love to see Kamala as AG so she can rip apart Barr. Well, why the fuck would she want to do that? Do y'all understand how high ranking a U.S. senator is? Why would a person in their first term as U.S. Senate want to leave the Senate to go be a fucking attorney general after they came from being attorney general of the largest Department of Justice in the country outside of the federal one and turn down the AG role? Why does that make sense? Ain't like you go from AG then back to the Senate. That's not how that works. So that's stupid. It's a dumbass suggestion. And motherfuckers, all that. Kamala isn't qualified for this, she ain't qualified for that, but let's throw her black ass in as AG. No. You just want to tuck her away where she's not a threat to your preferred white candidate. Let's see. Police automatically listed suicides makes them suspicious. That's really what's suspicious to me is the fact that automatically, like when these hangings are reported, it's like, oh, suicide. Wait a minute, hold on. How do we know that? Where's the evidence for that? How are you just found a body and you saying suicide? Is there an investigation? Is there forensics behind that? Is there a letter? Is there a note? Let's see. Nicole says, ain't no black person going to hang themselves from a tree. Right. I mean, it just sounds far-fetched to me. Wendy says, I saw someone on Twitter refer to Warren stands as wanting trickle down civil rights. Ain't that about a bitch? I wish I could take credit for that. Give me your thoughts on the Democratic National Convention. What are they doing? It's supposed to be in August. I don't. Do they have a specific date? Are they doing virtual? Are they doing a location? I don't know anything about it. They must be just moving right the fuck along. Cause I don't see how. I don't see any enthusiasm around it at all. What do you think about the attempts by the CBC to use graphics to highlight some of the main Justice and Policing Act points? Saw Tiffany Cross tweeting it earlier and wondered if it would help. I think it helps because people are visual. We're all in a meme learning society now. So if you can put it in a catchy video, if you can put some memes on it, people can understand it, then that's great. Jay says, as someone who has struggled with suicide, hanging myself on a tree outside is a lot of work. Yes, I, I would imagine. Also, there are a lot easier ways of committing suicide nowadays that are much less gory and more private. So, just doesn't make sense to me. Let's see. Did you see Val Demings on The View? Thoughts? I'm a fan of Val. Impressive experience in your face. I think she's very nice. I like her. Not for VP. I'm strictly Kamala Harris. She just got to Congress as a congresswoman, so maybe build up a profile there, and maybe potentially run for Senate. I think Marco Rubio would be very hard to beat, but if you think you can, deliver Florida on the ticket, then I don't see why you can't deliver Florida in terms of being a senator. So yes, that's what I think about that. I don't have a problem with her. Let's see. Yes, performative activists like Jason Overstreet. Yeah, Jason Overstreet talking about, oh, put Kamala as AG. A lot of people just try to seem less full of shit, and to me, you look more full of shit. Jamarcus says, a true progressive would withdraw her name and demand a black woman VP. That's where the receipts come in. When I see that you're willing to step aside and let somebody go, ascend beyond your position, then I'll believe you. But if your uplifting means, like I said before, I've demonstrated it. I'm here and you down here. That's not uplifting, boo. So I'm not impressed by rhetoric when you're still vying to be in a position you know good and damn well don't need to have two white people on the tickets, particularly two white septuagenarians. Maybe she'll try to give herself some goodwill and try to say that, come out and say that once it seems like it's no chance for her. But I don't see that happening. I think she's gonna fight tooth and nail to become VP, and I think that that might force Joe Biden into a position where he has to announce before August. I think that August 1st is still a ridiculous ass fucking date to wait that long, but that's fine. Samuel says, has the Kente Cloth Mafia comment on Trump's fake ass police form? I haven't seen it. Let's see. I'm in Florida and want Val to take Rick Scott's seat. So that would be 4 years from now. Let's see. Do you think KLB job is on the line in Atlanta? Activists in Atlanta aren't impatient. I don't know. I don't. I mean, she gets really good national press, but I don't have a real strong sense on the ground what people think. And sometimes that's different. Local media covers things differently. A lot of times people, she is a black woman, and so she's gonna get blamed for everything that goes wrong, whether she's doing a good job or not. So, if people want to be like, oh, you didn't fire this cop or this didn't happen, this didn't happen, it could be a problem for her. But I don't know. I don't have a good sense, honestly, of the Atlanta, scene like that. I from what I followed, it seems like the Atlanta primaries, mayoral primaries, are pretty contentious, pretty competitive. She barely won, beat out the white lady to become the mayor. So I don't know. Could it be a situation where the black vote gets split and she has trouble kind of holding on to her seat or to her position, or did she run for governor in 2 years? She's built a little bit more of name recognition that she might be interested in something like that. Let's see. Robin says, August 8th is to encourage money. It's obvious that all this VP shit, dangling shit is all about money. So, yeah. Jay says, I'm here in Atlanta. She's okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I've gotten to the end. Kamala needs to be VP. She's the only one who could kill it. Only one who could be president on day one. K have been promised 15 years. Okay, then 15 years. That's long. What do you think about of local GOP feeling confident, unlike GOP Congress, about a landslide? A red landslide. I haven't heard anybody say that. I wouldn't count it out. They got all kind of tricks up their sleeves, though. So we got to have people to vote. Let's see. Activists may call for KLB resignation and ATL of misconduct continues. And their calls will go unanswered because she's definitely not going to resign. That would be stupid of her to do that. Now, if activists can put their money where their mouth is and try to figure out a recall, that might be a different situation. But just somebody asking you to resign, hell no. Why would she do that? That would be stupid for her politically. Shantae says she could run for governor. What do y'all think? Do y'all think Keisha Lance Bottoms and Stacey Abrams are going to face off in 2022 for the governor? What do y'all think? Let's see. Who for AG then? AG, just to be clear, is typically a career official type of role. So, Vanita Gupta would be great. Or you could have somebody like Tish James, who's Attorney General in New York. Those are the kinds of people I would like to see. Let's see. Robin says, I'm doing a private training for security to protect black support for Kamala. If you're on Twitter, Robin, hit her up. Yes, I agree. Okay, I'm about to wrap this up, y'all. Season says, my sister Season's in the comment. Hey, Season. Stacey not taking Keisha down. Yeah, Keisha has some friends in high places now. She's played her early endorsement of Biden very well, and she's seeing some dividends from that. Sally Yates, I have no problem with Sally Yates. I like her. Let's see. All right. Okay. All right, y'all. I am going. Nick says we need Tish James and NY to prosecute Donald J. Trump when he's out of office and she legally can't. I think that she would absolutely be badass. I don't think that Donald Trump could sleep well at night at all if Tish James is still an AG. My bonus dad Patrick says I look smart and pretty. Thank you. Appreciate it. My mom is here. She was so upset that she lost the food challenge, y'all. But she has 2 wins underneath her belt. All right. Perlickman says, hi, Season, you and your sister rock. All right. Anything else? Well, now, see, all my folks is on. I might stick around a little bit longer. Wait a minute. Hold up. King says AOC should be the AG because she has pointed out the most white supremacy in history. What qualifications does AOC have to be Attorney General, though? Come on now. Come on. I know you're a Democratic Socialist, but what is the qualifications? She's not a lawyer. She's never a DA, nothing like that. I'm confused. Come on. Come on. Y'all be giving people any kind of role. But then Kamala got to goddamn jump through hoops just to get considered when she is the most qualified. Okay. I'm going to end this on this question because I get this question every time I go live. Every time. I'm going to have one more question after this. What do I think about Susan Rice for VP? What do I think about Susan Rice for VP? I think Kamala Harris needs to be VP. I answer this the same way every time. Kamala Harris needs to be VP. Period. End of story. There's no other, oh, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? What do I think? Is that Kamala Harris needs to be VP. But my last question I'm gonna have for you guys, now I'm gonna hop off, is what do you think is gonna happen next week? So we have June 23rd, and I'll revisit this in more depth next time. Um, we have this contested primary in New York with Richard Engel, I believe. Is it what's his name? First name is it Richard Engel and Jamal Bowman. So that's a contested race. We have Mitch. We have the Democratic primary in Kentucky with Amy McGrath and Charles Booker. Who do you guys think is going to win in those situations? Is it going to be the person? Elliot Engel. Okay, thank you for correcting me. I know Richard Engel is on MSNBC. Huh? Elliot Engel. Is Elliot Engel going to rule this out, or are the progressives going to come in and snatch that victory from him with Jamal Bowman or Jamal Brown? Is it Brown or Bowman? I'm pretty sure it's Bowman. Elliot. Okay, so Nicole says Elliot's been around for a while. Vote that MF. Now Elliot made some really bad comments. Talking about all if he, that hot mic comment about him, being there because he's in an election year. That was really bad. Let's see. Bye, Zadeco. Okay. All right. So it seems like most people pretty much feel like it's going to be Elliot. Booker's getting a lot of push. Yeah, and that's the thing that I don't know. I don't know how these Jackie, you're one of Elliot's constituents. What is your sense on it? Is anybody in Kentucky? Is anybody in Engel's district? I mean, I just want to know what your sense is on it because I haven't seen any polling or anything like that. All right, Ebrick says Amy will take Kentucky, Elliot will take New York. Okay. Yes, I did see that Elizabeth Warren endorsed Jamal Bowman today. How many wins does she have in these contested primaries like that? I don't know. I haven't seen too many of them. Most of them I've seen that they have been successful. Let's see. Jackie says that's all right. Elliot. Okay, so you think Elliot's gonna win? All right. So listen, I'm gonna hop off now. Thank you all for joining me. I see some shout outs for Roland Martin, Unfiltered, $50 a year. Bring the Funk Fan Club. Yes, he's coming on in a couple of minutes, 6 p.m. Eastern. I'm on Roland Martin Unfiltered on Thursdays. And I'm here at 5-ish. I try to be 5 o'clock on the dot, but just by between 5, if you come on at 5 and I'm not on, just know I'm going to be on. Okay. Last question. Who do you think would be a good press secretary for Joe Biden? I don't know. Somebody black. That's my vote. All right. Y'all don't forget Willie McCoy. Rest in peace. Okay. Rest in peace to Willie McCoy. Okay. Okay. Got it. Nick, thank you for clarifying. Nick says not in Engel's district, but his comments were out of context. Diaz was complaining he couldn't have every elected speak. And Elliott said he wouldn't care about getting a turn if not for the primary. That makes sense because if you don't speak, then guess what? It's the thing. Oh, he was there. He didn't even speak. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so that makes sense. Thank you for clarifying that. I see Zerlina Maxwell. I see Simone Sanders has some suggestions. Corinne Jean-Pierre is another one. So, I mean, like I said, somebody black. There's a lot of black qualified women. I like Megan Lynch, who's Kamala's press secretary. But there are a lot of qualified black women. If you ask me who should be doing anything, I'm going to put a black person in every row, especially a black one. So, y'all have a good night, and I will catch y'all tomorrow back here, 5 p.m. Bye, y'all.